KFI AM 640. Mo Kelly here. It's Friday, damn it. It is Friday. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you so much for getting us here to Friday. And let me tell you, it's a very special Friday. Nobody died on the Metro. Nobody died on the Metro. No earthquake today. Did you notice that? No 7-Eleven got robbed, as far as I know, or at least it hasn't hit the news yet. Maybe it's getting robbed right now, and we'll hear about it on Monday. But it was a pretty good week, or I should say a pretty good way to end the week, all things considered. We have a very special edition of the Rana Report tonight. I get the sneaking suspicion that Mark is probably going to talk about Alien Romulus, I think.
You win the prize.
Okay.
The prize is approximately nothing, but you win the prize.
Well, I knew you were going to see it this week. I didn't know if you were going to make it the central focus of the Rana Report.
I got to tell you, we could talk for the whole show about the whole Alien series and just go right down the list and what we liked and didn't like and were disappointed by in every single one of the movies, including those trasher Alien versus Predator movies. Oh, we could talk about that forever as fellow nerds.
Okay, this is all I want to know prior to you doing the Rana Report. And I've asked a few people about it who've seen the movie. I was reticent to see the movie because I didn't want to see just another Alien franchise movie that went nowhere. In other words, more people had stumble upon the alien creatures and they die. And that's most of the Alien movies. We were supposed to get more of a backstory in Prometheus and Covenant. And
yeah, they went big in those, and they got kind of philosophical. And but I admire the cojones to do that, but it didn't really work, did it?
Right. The idea was great. Execution, not so much.
Yeah.
And I didn't know if this was going to in any way tie into them, be connected to them. Did we learn something more than we learned before, or is it just humans being dumb and, they got killed again?
Well, folks, no need to listen at 8:30 because here we go.
No, those are questions I had in my head. You don't have to answer them now. I'm just saying that's what I was concerned about going to the movies.
It's a slightly different wrinkle, but there is plenty of familiar stuff. And I actually want to see it again.
See, that is a good tease. All right. Because if you want to see it again, with the exception of like Kung Fu or something like that, I do.
Don't start on Kung Fu.
No, I'm not. That's what I'm saying. I'm just saying there, with few exceptions, I take it to heart what you do say, the things that you do like.
Wow. This is being recorded. You know that, right?
I do know. Okay. And this is where the rim shot comes in too, because, I wasn't serious.
Well, give with one hand, take away with the other.
Stephen, you can't laugh at my joke in the studio and not give me the rim shot.
I didn't know that was a joke. I was like, oh,
you
wow,
were laughing.
He's laughing at your cruelty. He's laughing at your sadism.
No, it doesn't mean anything now.
There you go. Punching down as usual.
It doesn't mean anything.
Another night on Later with Mo Kelly.
It's like I'm arguing with my wife and then she gives me what I want later on. It's because no. If I have to say it, it takes all the purpose out of it.
I don't even know where to go with that one. Tell me more about how this is like arguing with your wife, Mo, please. Because we all want to hear this.
Because whenever I argue with my wife, all I hear is wah, 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 wah.
Charlie Brown's teacher with the news. Gotcha. Okay. Thank you. Right.
Well, we're also going to talk about, we had talked about previously, but there's an update to the story of digital IDs. And I said, hey, I would love to be able to have that for me because I'm all about the digital revolution. Well, it's getting closer and closer, at least here in California, where you'll be able to use your California driver license on your phone to get on and off planes, or at least in the continental United States, use them at airports and other places. So we'll tell you about that. And the Intuit Dome opened up last night, and it had some issues. Had a few issues, and even Bruno Mars had to step in at one point because security was not on the job doing their thing. So we'll tell you about that. And there's so much more. We had talked about the Olympics, and you know what I think what really came out of the Olympics? I think people, wrongly, but justifiably in many ways, you saw people like Ray Gunn get up there and you think to yourself, you know what? Maybe I can be an Olympian too. Well, Dr. Dre, who we told you about he has a new school, which is going to be at Morningside High. He and Jimmy Iovine. Well, he wants to compete at the LA Olympics, and we'll tell you how and why. And I don't know. Look, he's older than I am. I don't know what he would be able to compete in. Mark, have you given any thoughts as to what you would compete in?
I want you to picture our training montage with me as the Burgess Meredith character and you throwing down your piece of cardboard and working hard on the breaking.
I would not do breakdancing. If I were to try anything in the Olympics, I would try something like shooting, because I think that is not age specific. I think if you have a talent, you have a talent, and you can still be 70 years old and compete in that.
Well, what's not fun about shooting? Except, unless you're on the metro. If they find a way to combine those two, since it's going to be in L.A., that would be... And don't you steal that idea, anybody. I just came up with that right now.
Yeah. How long before you're going to trademark and copyright that?
Yeah, I should have done that before I ran my mouth. But, they've got to combine shooting with the metro, some sort of event like that.
Hey, very quickly, before we go to the news break, you have to let us know.
Thank you.
Any rain?
No. We thought it was going to be a little hotter over the weekend, but apparently it's going to be just about the same. Then next week's going to be hot. Going to bump up a few degrees next week.
All right. Sounds good. It's later with Mo Kelly. KFI AM 640. We're live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. When we come back, we'll tell you about the digital California IDs headed to your phone and mine.
Lady with Mo Kelly on KFI AM 640.
Live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. Pop quiz. Stefan, I think I'll start with you. And there's a point to this.
Okay.
If you were pulled over by law enforcement and you did not have your wallet on you for whatever reason, could you give them, in other words, would you remember, do you have the knowledge? Could you give them your driver's license number? Would you be able to?
Absolutely not.
Mark Ronner.
No, not in California. In Washington, I've eventually had it memorized, but not here yet.
Mm-hmm. I wonder. I memorized mine early on, and actually this was drilled into me by my father for that reason. In the event you should be stopped by police and you need to prove identification, whatever, always know your driver's license number. And I know it to this day.
Listeners would enjoy hearing your driver's license number, Mo.
Yeah. What is it?
XYZ123.
Also, your social security number.
Sure. 8675309.
Wait a minute. That sounds awfully familiar.
And he lives on 123 Main Street.
The reason I'm talking about this is because digital California IDs are headed to your smartphone and mine. In the event that you should lose your driver's license, or in the event that you just want to have a digital form of it, we talked about it last year where California DMV was rolling out a portion of this where you could have a mobile form of your ID on your phone, but you couldn't really use it anywhere. It's just maybe just to have on your phone back then. But this would be able to be used at airports around the country, or most of the country, and some businesses. As far as Apple, the feature will be part of iOS 15, Mark, so you can look forward to that.
Can't wait.
And I guess that's supposed to be later this year. iOS 15 is coming out. And there's not a specific date, but soon for Google Wallet. I have Google Pixel, so it'll be soon that I'll be able to use it.
Just get a tattoo. Then when the batteries on your iPhone start wearing down, which they inevitably do, and mine is now, you'll always have the tattoo.
Well, here's the thing. You can save a photo or like a PDF of your California driver's license on your phone.
Yeah.
You can. And I think most people do if you just need to have that information available.
I do.
But I do as well. But this will provide one more, I guess, layer of access, if you will. If you're traveling, if you do any type of traveling, you'll be able to use this along with your digital boarding pass, and probably would be easier to get on a plane. I'm waiting for it being usable as a legitimate form of ID if you encounter law enforcement.
Have you considered having a show word of the day like the old Groucho thing where the duck comes down and today's word would be dystopia?
Why?
Why don't we just get chipped while we're at it?
We're already chipped just by having the phone, holding the phone.
Yeah, but cops don't have a right to take it or open it.
It's not a right. I'm just saying, if you're worried about surveillance of where you are, your phone, which is on right now, is pinging off some tower very close by. They would be able to use that in any murder investigation.
Oh, yeah, the person of interest show. They'd come right to you. They'd throw you down.
Yeah, they know exactly where you are. That's the thing. It's like, I don't worry about, government surveillance because they already do. I can't worry about something which already happens and I've opted in. I've granted permission. And that's another reason why we're talking about the Shake Alert app, which would require me to have my location on all the time. It's like, no. You got to turn on your mic, Stephen.
And two things. I don't know why does it,
You're the engineer.
I
You're supposed to
swear,
know
I don't
this.
know what it is. That's the second time that happened. Anyway, I remember, I'm not going to say what you guys are talking about, but when I was walking past you and Tuala when you guys were getting ready for the show, and all I heard was like, I just said this, and now it's the first thing that popped in my phone.
Yep.
Oh, no kidding. They're listening. But what's funny is that you just mentioned the thing about giving them permission. South Park did a whole episode about that, where they had to literally read the whole thing because you'll see at the very end they like take their kids or something, and so all the kids actually got onto it and they had to read the entire terms of agreement before they could actually go through because we got to get into this store or this whatever. So that's funny.
Well, I'll tell you this: if you think that the government isn't already surveilling you on some level, I think that's being naive. Now, it may not be active in the sense of we want to see what Stefan is up to, but they are collecting this information. Companies are collecting this information and using it for however and whenever they may need it. I mean, yeah, Tuala and I were having a conversation, and then shortly thereafter, the ads just started popping up.
That happens to everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody. I mean, this happens to us at home as well. And actually, I'm not going to say anything more because I don't want people to know my weird medical stuff, but it pops up the instant after you've had a discussion. They're listening. Yeah, and I see tutorials that pop up on Instagram on how to turn that stuff off, but I'm not even sure that completely works. Are you?
I don't think so either. Look, when I use the assistant on my phone, I don't want to trigger it. The only way that I can use it is if I allow my phone to listen. That is an opt-in, but I don't know that it's completely not listening if I don't opt in because of the advertisements that I also receive. So the only way I can sleep at night is just assume that everything I do is public. That's the only way. Everything I put in an email, everything I put in text, not that, it's always on some server, but I'm just saying that someone is actively looking at it because otherwise I would go crazy.
Yeah, we're finding out that George Orwell was really limited in his imagination.
Oh,
at this
yeah.
point.
Yeah.
And my secret is I just never do anything good. You want to spy on me? Good luck with that. You're gonna nod off.
Well, say with me, because it's one of those things when I'm quasi public figure, I can't do the things that I used to do anymore. I can't go to the strip clubs like I used to.
Sure.
Bummer. I
just put on a YD, you kind of have a mustache?
Yeah, I can put on a costume or something.
Put on one like 5 in the Umbrella Academy. Go incognito. You could get away with some stuff.
But, I try to leave my life pretty open in that way because the only thing that's more difficult than lies is maintenance on lies.
Yes.
It's easier to just not do anything wrong and you never have to look over your shoulder or worry about what you're doing or what someone might see. But my assumption is going back to the story about the digital California IDs. For my personal life, it makes it easier. I like to have everything digitized. I'm not under any illusion. All that information is out there. It's just for me and my selfish desires, I would rather have everything digital.
It's a maddening way to live. Yeah.
No, because I got this crazy email today in my junk folder, my iHeart junk folder. and it was like some scam, and they said, "Greetings, Tuala, we have caught you." And I'm like, what? And then I read on and it says, because of a recent app you opened, we were able to upload spyware onto your phone, and we have caught you masturbating. Now, in order for you to keep this video from going on all your social media, you must send us like $5,000 in Bitcoin immediately. We are not going to wait. We do not take this lightly. Everyone will see what you do at night. I'm like, what on earth?
My thing is like, I want to see the video for me. It's like not your video, but I'm just saying, like, if you send me that emails, and I'm like, knock yourself out. You know, look, it could be AI for all I know.
Wait, it's shameful to masturbate? I mean, times have changed on that front. You got to come up with something better at this point.
Like, really, like,
you do a little bit better than that.
To know what you do at night.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh,
you mean other than sleep? Okay.
Like,
all right.
Yeah.
I mean, if you catch me doing that, I want high fives. You're not going to shame me.
But the lesson in that is, because all of our legitimate information is out there, it can be used against us.
Yeah. So I'm like, wait, how do you know my name? Because normally they say, "Greetings, sir." You know, I'm like, man, you even hit me with the Tuala? Like, and they also had the iHeart, because would you want the people at iHeart to know this? I'm like, I think they do. We talk about stuff like this on later with Mo Kelly, but
it's how you got the job. What are you talking about? First line on your resume.
Mark always got to make it weird.
No. I'm just
on a nightly basis.
I know.
I'm following your leads, please.
Okay. It's later with Mo Kelly. KFI AM 640. We have an Intuit update when we come back. We're live everywhere in the iHeart. Damn you, Mark.
Okay, I need a second. Okay, go.
Good luck.
Well, there's no need for that.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
And last segment, I was talking about how technology, smartphones, how it's moving all of our lives forward, where you'll enter this place and that place, maybe with just your digital ID. Well, something similar to that is happening at most concert venues, or if you've gone to a sports arena lately. If you've gone to maybe SoFi Stadium to see a Rams or Chargers game, you probably have to download an app. They have hard tickets, but they also have the option where you can download the team's app and you can transfer tickets. Like, for example, if you're going to go to the game, or I'm going to go to the game with Tuala, and we're not going to be in the same car, but Tuala's coming later, like 20 minutes later, on the app, I can transfer the tickets digitally, or a ticket to him, and he'll have the ticket so he can get in the venue and just show his phone. Well, that is how it's supposed to work. It didn't quite happen that way last night for the grand opening, the formal grand opening of the Intuit Dome. Ticket holders, and here's the first mistake in the greed of it all. Ticket holders for the Intuit Dome are required to download the Intuit Dome smartphone app. That's the first mistake, okay? When you have it as an option, great. When you're acquiring it, not so great. But after you download the app, people can transfer their tickets from other buying services like Ticketmaster and upload photos of themselves, allowing the arena to admit them through face scanning technology. And I know Mark probably loves that, the whole face scanning technology.
What's
portion.
not to love?
Yeah,
huh?
This is a direct, I'll say the direct next chapter of what we were talking about.
Do you have Face ID on your phone? Because I do.
I have it on my phone and my laptop.
Not only don't I like it, but the phones take such terrible pictures that you look like a drowning victim, and I hate looking at myself on my phone photos.
I don't like looking at myself in photos or videos, and I usually avoid the mirror at home.
Well advised.
I thought about you when I was like,
oh, that's nice.
When I
wait for the second half.
Yeah, right. I was like washing my hands in the bathroom, and I look up and I'm like, oh God. And I was like, that's what momos feel like.
Yes.
Like you don't want to see yourself in the mirror.
Look, especially in the morning, I keep my head down. And as you get older, I know this is a long digression. As you get older, you notice, or at least I notice, something different about myself each year. It's like, wait a minute. Be it on your face, hair here or hair not there. It just, you notice something different. Your body changes, your face changes, and I just say, F it. I don't want any bad news walking by the mirror. Anyhow, but to Mark's point, yes, I will use the facial recognition technology for my devices because it just helps, it's quicker in that regard. But the downside is, yes, all of that goes out there. But I mean, look, we're all on social media. They can find pictures of us. It's not all that damn hard. Like I said, we opt into this and we actually give it away. But going back to the Intuit Dome, they force you to or require you to download the Intuit Dome smartphone app. You can transfer your tickets and also other buying services and upload photos of yourselves, allowing the arena to admit you through face scanning technology. It didn't quite work that way. And the scanners that were supposed to allow fans into the venue were offline for about 40 minutes. Maybe they never had a dry run. Maybe it was not used to the number of people trying to access the server all at once because it's a concert, not just, 5 or 6 people at a time. But it took an extra 2 hours because of all these delays before Bruno Mars finally got to the stage. 2 hours. That's how they opened the Intuit Dome. And then after he got on stage, not long after he hit the stage, Bruno Mars had to take it upon himself to stop his own performance because a fan was having some sort of emergency down front. And security, I guess, did not feel the need to step in and assist the fan. Some sort of medical emergency. It's not clear what it is, but Bruno Mars stopped his own concert and yelled at security to get their asses over there and help this person out. No, I'm being serious.
1, 2, 3, let's ride. Now let's get security right over here. Come on, we're gonna slow down the show. Where the security at? We got someone in the middle over here. Need some attention. Right over here, Calvin. You got security, right? Get your middle, come on. Jump over the gate. Jump over the gate and help them out. Come on. All good?
Don't you like the mellow R&B interlude in the background as if it's part of the act?
I was going to say, yeah. That's why they started cheering.
Yeah. It's like, wait a minute. Stop all the music and then everyone would have realized it's serious. But if you keep playing in the background, oh, okay, he's just up there having fun.
1, 2, 3, let's ride. Now let's get security right over here. Come on, we're gonna slow down the show.
Let's break it down.
We got someone in the middle over here.
They're still playing.
Right over here, Calvin.
That's when you actually stop the music. If someone's having a medical emergency, stop the music.
You read my mind. The fact that he's still got to have some musicality when he's reporting an emergency. It's like, hey, now we've got somebody who's been shot and has a sucking chest wound in the front row, and they just keep going with all that.
And he said it in like his performance voice.
Yes.
He didn't break musical character. It'd be different. No, stop the music. No, this is very serious. You can tell when something is serious as someone having a medical emergency, how it needs to be addressed. If I'm security, and I've done low-level security for basic events, when you work in the music business, they're nice that you have to work security. What you're looking for and what the artist is looking at, two different things. Like security, they could be facing the audience. They may be looking for someone who may try to run up on stage. They're not looking to see if someone's having a medical emergency. Their job is to protect the artist, I would think. And unless the artist says and makes it clear that something's wrong, they're not going to leave their post. They're not going to do anything. Their job is to make sure that your dumbass doesn't run up on stage.
It makes me wish that I'd seen something like that at a Barry White concert. Like, oh, yeah, it looks like someone's having a grand mal seizure right up front. Can we get somebody up there?
Well, see, with Barry White...
Come on, Foosh.
That was a deep cut.
Foosh.
No. He's going to help you out. We're going to get some Barry White for you. But with Barry White, he had the Love Unlimited Orchestra behind him. The difference is the Love Unlimited Orchestra would have stopped playing.
Like if it was James Brown, you couldn't even tell the difference between an emergency and what he was going to be doing anyway.
You couldn't understand what he was saying anyhow.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
But let me just play this again. If the band would have stopped playing, they would have gotten help for the person sooner.
1, 2, 3, let's ride. Now let's get security right over here. All right, we're gonna slow down the show. Where the security at? We got someone in the middle over here. Need some attention.
They're cheering for it.
You got security, right? Get your middle, come on. Jump over the gate. Jump over the gate and help them out. Come on.
It seems like it's part of the act. It feels like it's part of the act. Now, I've read all the published accounts. It wasn't part of the act, but the way he was handling it, and I'm not criticizing him, I'm saying he could have gotten help there sooner if he made a clear break and said, stop the show. We have someone who's having a medical emergency.
You're listening to Later with Mo Kelly on demand from KFI AM 640.
After the Olympics, because you have people like Rachel Gunn, oftentimes you'll have a response to that. It's like, well, if Ray Gunn can get on an Olympic squad and represent her country and perform before the world, I can too. Or people wrongly believe that. And it's not a new phenomenon. If you were to watch or talk to fans of the NBA, people say, well, look, that guy's horrible. I could do as well as that. And sometimes you forget those are world-class athletes, Ray Gunn notwithstanding. They're world-class athletes. They are the top 1% of the 1% in the world. You are not anywhere near them at all. So I just chuckle when I hear various stories about people who maybe want to try out for the Olympics next year, as if it's like trying out for a role in a movie. You just sort of sign up and show up and, you'll get your shot at joining the Olympic team. It doesn't work that way, but some people seem to think it does. The 2028 Olympics, of course, are going to be here in L.A. And Dr. Dre, who you know, formerly of NWA, one of the greatest music producers ever, hip-hop producers, was musing out loud to Entertainment Tonight that he would like to compete in the 2028 Olympics. Would like to compete, as if it were that easy. And you won't believe the sport or the competition that he would like to compete in. During an interview with Entertainment Tonight, Dr. Dre revealed that he is serious, as in quote unquote dead ass serious, about representing the United States in archery. Archery. Quote, I have it set up in my backyard. Let me stop right there. Oh, you're going to need more than a setup in your backyard. You really are. But that's where we are, because we always think that we're that close to the top performers in the world. But he goes on, I have it set up in my backyard. I heard that qualifying for the Olympics is 77 feet. And I practice at 90. Yeah, wouldn't that be interesting to go, as into the Olympics, especially with it being here in L.A. and win a gold medal? He's already skipped to the end about how cool it would be to win a gold medal in archery here in L.A. because the Olympics is 77 feet distance, and he has a backyard setup where he practices at 90.
Why waste time on the competition? Just give him the medal.
Delusions of grandeur, okay? He's not the first one to have these delusional dreams. I just think it really sells short the skill set, the dedication, the preparation and practice of actual Olympians who've been doing this for literal decades, and he just was watching TV on a Tuesday and said, hey, I like archery. It says that he took archery back in junior high. Oh, that's nice. That's nice. Archery back in junior high. You know what I did back in junior high? I played basketball. This is tantamount to saying, you know what? They have a 10-foot high goal in the Olympics. I played on a 10-foot high goal back when I was in junior high. And you know what? I have a basketball hoop in my backyard. I think I will try out for the Olympic team. It's just about the same thing. It's just as ridiculous.
Kind of makes you wonder what other music stars would do if they were Olympic athletes. Like, what would Ike Turner be doing in the Olympics?
Boxing.
The 300-meter run from your old man.
No, Ike would be boxing.
Okay.
No doubt.
Okay, yeah, you're right.
But here's the thing. We all have these dreams. We all think that we are better than we are. But it's a fantasy. It's not reality. And I think it's actually disrespectful. If I were to say that, I think I could try out for any Olympic sport in the world. Now, I was making fun of Ray Gunn, but I'm not on the level of an Olympic break dancer who, the real break dancers, not her. I'm just saying the real break dancers. I think it's just disrespectful to put yourself in the same sentence. Like, I saw that on TV. It looks cool. I like to do it. I think I'll try out for the Olympic team. In the same conversation.
Can you do that head spin thing?
No. Actually, my mother, she forbade me from doing head spins.
Does it cause traction alopecia?
No, it caused broken necks.
Yeah, that too. Okay.
Yeah, that was her reasoning. And I don't think I ever tried a head spin in my life for that reason, because I was more afraid of my parents than I was the police. So, I was rambunctious and I was rebellious, but there's certain things I didn't do, because when I was practicing breakdancing, I was always within eye shot of them so they could see what I was doing. If I ever did a head spin, there would be consequences to that.
Yeah, it looks remarkably unpleasant. Yeah, I don't fun.
Yeah, I don't know how people really practice that. It's just, I was never a thrill seeker. So the idea of spinning on my head, no.
I always got the idea that people never exactly practiced it on purpose.
No. They actually practice.
Like somebody does that to you.
They practice that on purpose.
Okay.
I just was never one of them. And look, if you are an Olympian, a legitimate Olympian, not talking about Ray Gunn. If you are a legitimate Olympian, I would never disrespect your craft, your training, your natural talent for you to get to that level, to be amongst the best 1% of the 1% in the world. I'm not going to sit here and say, well, I saw that on TV. I could do that. No. Tawala might say that, but I wouldn't say that. It's Later with Mo Kelly. KFI AM 640. We're live everywhere in the iHeartRadio app.
We're not here to make up your mind. We're here to give you the latest.
KFI.
And KOST HD2.
Los Angeles, Orange County.
Live.